Yes, you mad Etsy people. Guys, this is where I answer all your questions. There's so many questions that Etsy sellers have, and I'm going to have a playlist to answer all of those questions as much as I can to help you guys just find those little delicate answers that people actually don't really know what to do. And this is one big question that a lot of Etsy sellers ask all the time. And here's a question by one of the Etsy sellers on Reddit. And this is what they say. What is your strategy for handling copycats on Etsy? Now, as you probably know, there are lots and lots of copycats on Etsy ready to take the idea that you've just created and took maybe a long time to create, and all of a sudden you find out that there's a listing that's appeared. Now, I'm going to go through and give you some practical tips at the end of this video, things that you can actually do to help, stop as much as possible this from happening to your own listings. Now, obviously, you can't eliminate everything, but you can actually do some things to help yourself. Now, check this out. This is what they say. They say, curious what strategy you have, if any, for dealing with copycats. I've thought about trying Etsy out, but I have heard a few horror stories about it being flooded with drop shippers and the copycat problem. Of course, the copycat problem is everywhere, not limited to just Etsy. But anyway, just curious if anyone has perfected a strategy to counter them. The only system I found is to simply try to get the most sales out of the gate and just assume the copycats will eat you alive as time goes on. That's a funny question, but it's a valid question because a lot of people do have worries about copycats. Now, like I said, I'm going to go through after looking at some of these good answers. There's some good answers here, which I'm going to go through, but then I'll give you some of my own practical tips. And like I said, I'm going to do a whole series of answering questions. So keep a lookout on these kind of message videos. Now, here's a really good answer actually by this seller. Right, this is what they say: sell something that people will struggle to copy. That's a good one. Specialists have a specialist knowledge, specialist skills, specialist materials, specialist tools. Now, undoubtedly, if you got something where you're selling a product that requires a little bit more skill, something that not everybody can do very quickly, then 100% it's going to be harder to copy. So if you are thinking about something to sell, then definitely go down that route. Now, like I said, not everybody can do that, and not everybody is selling something that requires any special tools or materials. So, like I said, as this goes on, we'll look at some good practical advice. But this is a good way, though. This is one good answer, to be honest, that could work. Now let's go down to the next answer, man. This isn't Etsy specific, right? And it's true, it's not Etsy specific, right? It's definitely not Etsy specific. Copycats are everywhere. Copycats are on every single platform, everywhere, and they will try to copy. And you cannot stop that. I'll be real. You cannot stop these guys coming out of the woodwork and trying to copy, because when they see something that's working or making money, they will jump on it. So it's 100% not an Etsy problem. It's a wide problem. It's an online business problem. It's everywhere, everything, right? You know this. Goes on to say, sell a good idea anywhere online and it will be copied. I completely agree with that. In fact, Etsy is the best of the bunch when it comes to taking action on infringement claims. I'm a tiny shop and see my art on Alibaba. I'm a tiny shop and I see my art on Alibaba, Amazon, and Temu, and have never seen it on Etsy. Wow, that's crazy. So basically, what this seller's saying, and you know what, there is some validation to this because it's true. Although you might look on it on Etsy and think, God, what's going on here? There's I can tell the copycats. I can see so many trademark infringement, copyrighted stuff on here. But actually, when you look at other platforms, you could probably see a lot, maybe more possibly. But there's a lot of stuff out there. So like I said, it's not an Etsy problem. And sometimes we do think that Etsy is not taking action quick enough. They are taking action. There's just so many out there that are infringing and so forth. So, like I said, you kind of have to understand that this is an online business problem and not an Etsy problem, right? Coming down. But it's interesting to see that seller who sells didn't see any of the copycats on Etsy, but on other platforms. That is very interesting. Here's another answer. If you sell something that becomes popular, and this is just facts, right, then it's inevitable that people will come along and copy it. You can put your energy into trying to get their listings taken down, but that can be like a whack-a-mole. I suggest you keep your quality high and try not to rely on old designs to sustain your sales for too long. Some people find that creating a limited edition run of products can help, especially when you build demand on your socials and limit the number available and the time the product will be available. Look, it is about evolving, and it is about keeping going, and it is about keeping up with designs and trends, and not relying on, let's say, popular designs that you've created. That's for sure. And this is why I always say, you keep listing up, you keep looking for those new designs, new trends, you see what's happening. You really just have to be awake and alive to what's happening on the platform and in design in general, right? You just need to understand and keep your eye on what's happening. Keep your eye on the pulse, if you like. Keep your finger on the pulse, should I say, right? Now, like I said, you're not going to be able to stop people from copying, but obviously, if you've already built like quality score, good reviews, and people will be able to tell, right? They'll be able to tell the original stores from the copying stores. Now, for those people that they don't care, let's say they just want to buy something that is similar, even though and it's cheaper, you can't stop that. There's nothing to stop that. People will always buy what they want to buy, and people do what they want to do, right? All you can do is focus on your own work and your own store and make sure that the quality of what you produce is really high. You're keeping up with new designs, new trends, and you're building a sort of brand for your store. Look, you can see, look, in the world over, there are brands out there, but there are copycats out there. We can talk about clothing brands, perfume brands. There's thousands of copycats out there for all of these brands, but they still make a lot of money and they still keep going. So it's all about building a building a brand with quality work, right? Let me go down. This person says you'll be copied, and there's probably not isn't much you can do other than be unique enough so it can't be copied easily. Well, a lot of things can be copied. That's the thing, but you just kind of have to keep going. Now here's a really good answer. Check this out, right? I like this one. It's better to be a market leader than a market follower, right? And so obviously, if you're creating something that turns out to be really good and popular, then you'll be the market leader. If you produce something which can be copied, and it becomes popular, chances are it will get copied no matter where you sell it. If it's unique enough, you can patent it. If it's your own artwork, you own the copyright and can enforce it. If it's a phrase or design, it can be trademarked, and that can be enforced. If none of those apply, then it wasn't that unique. That's a very good point, by the way, guys. Patenting something that is unique. We know with artists around the world, whether it be music or whatever it may be, they patent their words where other people can't really use it, and if they do use it, they can be sued. So if your design or the words or phrase you've used is unique enough, yes, you can trademark it. It can be done, and it can be done quite easily. It can be done for sure. It is a process, and you do have to do your paperwork and all of that and pay for it. But if you truly believe in it and you think that it's worth doing, then definitely that is an option. I've patented something before, and it does work, because then you can chase up any other copycats. But a lot of people say they can't be bothered because it's not gonna stop people anyway. So but there is that option. It says copycats are everywhere. Copycats, mate. But there's definitely one guarantee way of never having any success with Etsy, and that's not even bothering to try it. I love that. Now, this is absolutely 100% true. Look, if this is going to scare you from doing Etsy, then it shouldn't, because in anything you do, any business that you want to start, there's someone's going to try and copy it. It's just the way it is. Whether it be some kind of restaurant, food store that is popular, they'll try and take the recipe for the whatever it is. It's just the way humans are, which is very sad, but it is what it is. But yeah, okay. Here's another answer. Here's another answer. Right? Check this out. Look at this. This is an interesting one right now here. I'm dealing with one right now. Reported the copycats. Wow, they reported copycats. 2 listings, nothing so far. They have put. So basically, you can obviously report the listings to Etsy as well, by the way, just in case you didn't know. Nothing so far. They have put my shop name in their tags. Wow. See, I don't like things like that. Why do people do that, man? That's just crazy. Putting their shop name in the tags, matching my prices, stolen images from my shop and 3 other shops. But most likely they've stolen a lot more. My sales are going down and theirs are going up, and I think it's game over in the long run. The only thing I don't understand why is Etsy letting this happen. They are copying images from other shops and websites, and Etsy doesn't do a thing. I'm thinking of going into a new niche, but again, maybe the same copycat will copy whatever I started. This is very exhausting. Feel like a sprinter. It is hard, guys. It really is hard. And sometimes Etsy doesn't respond as quick as they should. And that's because they're dealing with thousands and thousands of sellers, right? Who may have these kind of similar problems. Like I said, if you have your own uh, experience of this, please drop a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. So yeah, it's do you know what, it's actually crazy, but like I said, do not let this put you off. If you're watching this for the first time, you're thinking about selling on Etsy, don't let it put you off, because it's actually everywhere. You just have to keep going. You have to do your due diligence. You have to try and be as unique as possible. You have to try and follow up with reporting it to, say, Etsy or whatever the platform you're using is. You have to try your best to do other stuff like adding watermarks. If you're selling designs, then add a watermark, right? And I've done a video on how to add a watermark very quickly and easily on your designs or on your main images. But you know, like I said, look, you can do as much as you want and you can do so many different things, but you can't really stop it, right? If someone's determined to take the idea or an idea, they will do that, right? The only thing that you can do is focus on what you're selling, try and make it as unique as possible, try and make sure that you're pushing the sales as quick as possible, because that quality score is going to push you up on the higher parts of the higher up on the pages where you should dominate that niche or that area. If you can dominate it and that you're the one that's getting all the sales, then you know these copycats can copy what they like, but you're the one that's making the money or the most money, right? And you have to evolve. You have to keep moving, keep changing, keep improving, keep working, keep designing, keep looking at new listings. You just have to keep moving. You can't sit still in this game, because this game is ever changing, ever moving, ever evolving. So what I'll say is, if you got something that's working, that's fantastic, but just don't stop there. Start thinking about other variations of it. Start thinking about maybe improving it somehow, you know, going on a slightly different design trend. And do your due diligence and do all the things that you can do to help yourself as much as possible. Like I said, keep reporting these listings that are copying, do your watermarks, and you know what, you have to kind of just keep going like that, because you know there is no one answer that works, honestly, I'm telling you. But you're growing a brand, and like I said, if you look at the brands in the world, they've got thousands and thousands of copycats. They keep moving, and you know they can't stop everyone. They've trademarked probably their designs and their clothing and their brands, whatever it is, but people still do it. People still copy, right? Which is sad, but they just keep selling though. They keep selling, and they keep selling well. And that's what I'm trying to say is, you can still sell well even though there are copycats out there. It shouldn't stop you from selling, and you just have to keep moving and keep creating new designs, being unique. Just keep going, just carry on being unique, carry on thinking of new ideas, and honestly, you will have a profitable business. But don't let this put you off, because like I said, you know, copycats are absolutely everywhere. They're like pests, man. They're like vermin, man. They are everywhere. But guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know your experiences on this matter. And don't forget, if you like this video, please hit the like, subscribe, smash the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one, mate. Take care. Take care.